out of the game.
2nd down and 4. Here's that run game with Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs breaks a tackle. Gibbs into the secondary. Inside the 35 and a 1st down.
The defensive line. They get past the 3 guys here, and now you're to the 2nd level. Again, a missed tackle by Greg Gaines. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs right at the line of scrimmage, and he allows Jahmyr Gibbs to run through his arms.
You have to imagine at some point during the week, Ben Johnson looked at that secondary of Tampa and said they're Detroit now 5 of 12 on 3rd down. They've been much better in the second half. Delayed handoff, gaping hole for Gibbs. Into the secondary, stepping through tackles, and Gibbs finally pulled down at the Tampa Bay 23-yard line. A pickup of 24.
This way you get an extra one with Frank Ragnow, but here's the big one. That's a lot to ask for right there. He goes all the way to the 2nd level. We've talked about climbing to the 2nd level. Back. Oh, wow, that's an interesting formation on 4th and 1.
And it's Gibbs on the sweep to the edge. 1st down and more. Gibbs down the sideline. Gibbs tiptoeing out of bounds with a 1st down at the 14. Izzy and May have
block on this play. It's going to be Jameson Williams. I didn't think he gets that one right. Look at this right here. Little touch there. Boom, 2nd level. Lavonte David blocks Lavonte David coming downhill. Great job by Jameson Williams.
Man, that does not happen often that David gets blocked like that. He got jarred out of the picture.
I mean, I'm expecting David Montgomery to be in the backfield by himself. Just a little touch right here, right, on Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Good feel. Now up to the next level. That allows Brock Wright to get there. I mean, Graham Glasgow doesn't know what to do. He comes through, and I'm like, I don't have anybody to block.
Somewhere in this country, Nick Saban watched his former wide receiver with that block, and he said, yes, I like that.
He's out there with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And this is Gibbs. And Jahmyr Gibbs is inside the 10. And a 1st and goal for the Lions.
Upfield, and then you bring your guard down here and you trap the inside. Those are quick hitting plays. You create separation, almost like this picket fence, right? One guy's real deep, the other guys are off the ball, and it creates.
Seattle with a big lead. 49ers are up 7 on the Rams. Cardinals trailing here. It's gone. Hits it. Who flips it to Jahmyr Gibbs. And Gibbs is in the end zone for a Lions touchdown. How do you like that one? How about that?
That's right. Resuscitate all the fans here in Arizona. Well, you're going to watch. He's just going to come in here. You're going to clear a little bit, and then Gibbs is going to come from the middle of the line of scrimmage. So here's the under route. Just flip it over to Gibbs, who's running across the formation. And this is just beautifully executed. There you see he released out of the B-gap on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. And whoop, B-gap being between the center and the tower, the guard and the tackle. And that is just, I mean, you want to talk about a beautifully executed hook and ladder. It can't get any better than that.
Yeah,
that's all enough, and it's Detroit's ball.
Another close call goes against Arizona. Lions with a big defensive stop as Gibbs carries, and Jahmyr Gibbs up across the 40-yard line. Buda Baker ran him down, or he'd had a whole lot more.
And you start leaning on people. You know what starts happening to you? Big gaping runs. Guys don't get off their blocks. There you see it right there. Tonga just getting held up, and the big breakout.
This defense has been stout down here. Handoff to Gibbs, a walk-in touchdown. And the two-headed monster with a hug. Montgomery, Gibbs, man, they're good back there, and they each have a touchdown. Coyote Awashika, the starting left guard tonight, because of the shuffling of the offensive line, makes the key block. Just an excellent job getting pushed. Officially 49 yards by Carlton Davis, and Gibbs takes the handoff and is in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the night. That's just good, tough running. Rayshon Jenkins, he's got a chance to get him, and he fills the hole, does a good job, but just good, tough running after contact to punch that in.
Ben Johnson at the end of week 4. Lions up 21-7. 2nd and 7, and right up the gut. Gibbs pops out of there with a first down.
Well, that shows you the power that Jahmyr Gibbs has. You know, you talk about Montgomery and what he's able to do. Well, this is what people don't always appreciate about Gibbs. He can finish some runs, too, right between the tackles. The way he finishes that off at the end of that play is impressive.
Hand off. Wow. Sprinting up the middle and bursting for a first down is Gibbs. Man, he can fly.
Man, he's just electric. Called. They're going to contribute either way, run game or the pass game. I love that.
Another play action pass, as you call. Goff standing, looking. Now Gibbs is wide open and just runs up for a first down, shoulder down, stays in bounds all the way down to the 40. And this drive.
But we'll sustain some drives and get some points on the board.
How do you keep Jared Goff off his game?
Yeah, it's just a whole game plan.
Brock Wright lined up as the fullback. Off the right, here's Gibbs. Good run, best run, good move. There he goes, needs a block. He's in. Jahmyr Gibbs answers back for Detroit.
Jahmyr Gibbs replacing for right now Montgomery. That's one of the best 1-2 combinations in the entire league. And this offense had been reeling, a little sluggish there in the first quarter, and they got that explosive run at the perfect time.
Outside the red zone. That's how good the defense has been for the Vikings. That's how good that run was for Gibbs. And it's a run for Gibbs against the pressure, and he bangs it in for a touchdown. His second of the day.
Remember earlier in the first quarter, we said they love. They're able to catch him off bounds. Look, they bring in extra receivers, and he's the crack on the edge. He gets an extra body. And after they get the problem with having everybody up, there's no.
About 5 minutes off the clock. Really put Minnesota in a bad spot with not a lot of time at the end of this half. They get the touchdown. So after 25 or 30 yards to get in a comfortable field goal range for Bates. And Gibbs will get some of that yardage and more. Out to the 48-yard line. He picked first down. Jahmyr Gibbs with an opening. And Gibbs with great speed. Down the sideline. Jahmyr Gibbs, one man to beat. He'll beat him. Touchdown. A 45-yarder last week. 7.
Watch the block by Taylor Decker. He's going to get to the second level. They never make Jahmyr Gibbs change his path. Actually, Graham Glasgow is the guy that gets up there. And that is right down the sideline. Once he is in that position, you are not going to catch Jahmyr Gibbs. But the biggest thing, you saw that on the track that he ran.
5-yarder last week, and Jahmyr Gibbs said 45. That's nothing. Scratch that out of the record books and put 70 next to the name of Jahmyr Gibbs.
It's just a bad angle by Quandre Diggs. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those guys who makes you adjust your pursuit angle coming in because of that speed, and he was a little bit too much down
to 14. So now it's come down to a day, and the Titans on the move at the end of one. Here is Gibbs. First down and more. Gibbs in for the touchdown.
Gibbs 15 yards for the touchdown.
Preston Smith. You see these two unblocked defenders here at Green Bay. Gibbs sees it.
2 in 6 minutes. It's his first 2-interception game of his career. Quick toss, Jahmyr Gibbs, a Penei Sewell leading the way. Almost got that corner turned.
This guy right here leads the way, and people find a way to avoid him. This is the old business decision here, and he still got whacked. But if Gibbs had been able to keep his balance just a little bit.
4 targets, 2 catches for St. Brown. Third down, Goff swings it. Gibbs, Sewell leading for him. Gibbs looking to cut back inside, all the way to the 44-yard line.
Here we go. We're going to pull out in front of it. And just as that edge player starts to figure out, uh-oh, we've got a problem and we've got a lead blocker in front. And that was greatly needed. That was just a tremendous call that time by Ben Johnson.
Next Sunday night, Lions down 3. Jahmyr Gibbs, first down run. First down, Gibbs. Down the sideline he goes. And out of bounds. A good opener for Detroit, trying to tie or take the lead.
A little misdirection. They're going to show this way to get linebackers to move there, and then you're going to see Gibbs go back that way. So a lot of times when you get a team that's really flying to the football, you use their excitement and their momentum against them, especially in big moments of the game.
The corner, Kamari Lassiter, out for the rest of the game for Houston. Gibbs, right, accelerates. There goes Gibbs down the sideline. And the big chunks of yards happening now.
Watch what he does here. Able to go and hook the edge player who's at least 7 yards outside of him. You just cannot find offensive linemen and offensive tackles to do that. And then when you make that block.
And the Lions celebrate the score.
Part of the secret sauce that has made him so. Goff with a dart, and the Lions are back on top. Looking at a 3rd and 12 from midfield. Goff takes the snap, hands off on the delay. Up the middle they go. That is Jahmyr Gibbs spinning inside the 40 and getting the first down to the 37-yard line. Up, Jarrett working out of the gun. Takes the snap, he's back. 4-man rush. Goff sets, Rose got Amon-Ra, flips it on the hook and ladder. Coming inside the 5. Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, how beautiful is that? Goff to Amon-Ra, flips it back to 26. Who got the attention to do something to change the. Goff up under center. Goff gives the Gibbs. Big hole up the middle. 15. Gibbs 10. Gibbs at the 7. Gibbs at the 5 to the 4-yard line. Jahmyr Gibbs 20 yards. And the Lions have it 1st and goal now. Back is Gibbs. Jarrett takes, turns, gives to Jahmyr, right side, cuts it up to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. They're an extra point away from doubling up their lead as that defense gave it to them in the red zone and they cashed it in.
Left guard tonight, because of the shuffling of the offensive line, makes the key block. Just an excellent job getting pushed. Gibbs reads it, comes off the block, and scores. Offensively, they're rolling in these unis. Takes the handoff and is in for the touchdown.
Gives it to Gibbs, right side, try to get the edge, cuts it to the 40, 35, takes the man down, there he goes, count it down, 10-5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, baby! His way to the end zone, shaking the Vikings along the way. That is just gorgeous stuff by Jahmyr Gibbs. Exactly what this football team needed. Great run from Jahmyr Gibbs. Awesome. Career long for Jahmyr Gibbs. Off out of the gun, hands it to Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs there. He goes, 30, go. 35 to the 40. There you go. Turns the corner to the 50. It's a foot race down the left side. End zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Talk about a bolt of lightning, 70 yards.
You could get that run game going again, it'd be huge.
Here's Gibbs on the right side. Big hole! Gibbs racing, breaks the tackle, and finally tripped up.
Jarrett takes the snap, hands to Jahmyr. There he goes, inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. They just parted the seas. And the Lions extend their lead. It is now Detroit 24 and the Packers 3. How about that drive?
By that left side of the line.
And another.
Off out of the gun, hands it to Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs there.
There
He
you
goes,
go.
30, go. 35 to the 40.
There you
Turns
go.
the corner to the 50. It's a foot race down the left sideline. Gibbs,
There you
20,
go.
15, 10, 5, end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 70 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs found the opening and they couldn't find him.
Yes, 15 yards concussion.